Outreach Ministry. Happy Father's Day. Man, happy Mother's Day, Grandma. Grandma Fall. Yeah. Happy Father's Day. And see who else down there?
Junior.
Junior, Robin.
Michael, Robin, Poopa,
Annie.
Angie.
The
other Junior, Head Junior. Donnell.
Annie Roof.
Hello.
Annie Roof.
Your dad got us over here bugging out, man.
Head. Forget about you down here, Head.
Say Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, and who else down there?
Oh, the whole Holloman family down south in North Carolina.
Tell me, hope they live to be 100, and you live to be 110.
I hope y'all live to be 100, and I'm gonna live to be 110.
Say praise the Lord. The Universal Outreach Ministry, and my name is General Charles Holloman, and I am coming from Brooklyn, New York, with the videotapes of the late Bishop F.D. Washington of the Church of God in Christ, our Prince of Preacher, and I want to dedicate this sermon for Mother's Day for Ruthie B. Holloman, for the Holloman family. 307 South Slocum Street, Ruthie B. Holloman. I want to dedicate this to you and to my sister, Annie Ruth Holloman, Helen Holloman, and Rita Ann Holloman. I want to dedicate this to the Holloman family, and I hope the Holloman family live to be 100 years old. Down to my mother, to my sisters, and me, Charles Holloman, better known to the world as General Charles Holloman. Hope I live to be 110. And I hope you people is enjoying these tapes of the late Bishop F.D. Washington. This man was a Prince of Preacher. One day I came to Washington Temple, and the Lord spoke to me, and he said to me, go and get a video camera. I told the Lord, I don't know what no video camera is. And the Lord, he showed me this camera in my mind. I tried to be smart with God, but God showed to me what he wanted. So I went and I got a video camera. And when I got the video camera, the Lord told me, go into Washington Temple and make movies. And I told the Lord, Lord, I can't do that. That's a holiness church. They ain't gonna let me come in that church and make no movies. But something within me spoke and said, he'll do it, Lord. He'll do it. And I went to the church, and I had a video camera with me. And I was scared too. I went down in front of the church. People looked at me, they were glad to see me the first day. But as I began to tape, the first Sunday, it was all right. Second Sunday, you know, they looked at me like I was just trying to be seen. You know, I got kind of worried. Because Bishop Washington wasn't in town. He was on vacation. When I first started videotaping, the Lord told me to go in church. Bishop Washington wasn't even there. And I'd take 2 weeks while he was on vacation. And I heard the people in the congregation say, I wish he'd sit down. He just want to be seen. And I heard somebody in the congregation say to me, say behind me, not directly to me. I heard them say, just wait till Bishop Washington come. Bishop Washington will sit him down. Because nobody, he just want to be seen. He just out there in the way. And so I got afraid. I was afraid. I was afraid that when Bishop Washington come, that he really was going to sit me down. And so I said, uh-oh. Now I got to wait till Bishop Washington come. So when Bishop Washington came, I snuck out there in the middle of the floor like I always do. And I was scared too. And the Spirit of the Lord ain't said nothing to me. And he told me it's going to be all right, ain't said nothing. I said, well, if Bishop Washington sit me down, then I can tell Jesus when Jesus come. And he asked me, Charlie, why you ain't taping? And I said, Bishop Washington sit me down, Lord. But when Bishop Washington came out there and saw me, he began to pray for me. He said, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you. And I told Bishop Washington, I said, I thought you were going to sit me down, Pop. Because the Lord told me don't call him Bishop Washington. Told me to call Bishop Washington Pops. And I said, Pop, why you didn't sit me down? He said, you couldn't fool me. He said, I knew the Lord sent you. And I wanted somebody to take me. So when I'm gone, my sermon will still be going on. And so now you people, y'all is viewing the tapes of one of the greatest preachers that ever lived, the late Bishop F.D. Washington. And I want to thank you for letting me come into your home, come into your living room, your bedroom, your kitchen, your dining room, in your hospital, in the jailhouse, wherever you are. I want to thank you for letting me bring these tapes to you, the tapes that the Lord wants you to see. And when you review these tapes, you can tell the anointing is on these tapes. So the Lord is really in this thing. And may God bless you. And now I'll see you inside of a service. Thank you.
That are indifferent and apathetic, you have to sometimes take your soul off in a corner and talk with yourself. David did it, found himself a little dilatory and unconcerned and apathetic about blessing God. And he talked with himself and said, "My soul, why are you cast down? Why are you disquieted in me? What's the trouble? What has God done? Or what has God left undone?" When we made that investigation, he found the fault was in him. I don't think the fault's in God. Everything he said he would do, he's already done. He's done more than he should do. And that blesses him. Hallelujah. Thank you, Jesus. Hallelujah. David gives us a few things and stipulated a few things for fear that some may be not knowledgeable of the things that God has done. So he said, praise him for his mighty acts. Of course, creation was a mighty act. But God took nothing and made something. He didn't have a pinch of dirt. He didn't have any equipment, no tools. He didn't have a hammer, nail, or saw. And made everything you see. He's a creator. And more than that, he's a designer. For he designed all of the artistic works of nature. Gave the colors to the rainbow. God was an artistic God. Amen. How great thou art. Praise him for his mighty act. Hallelujah. Oh, praise the Lord. I've traveled around the world and I've seen different panoramic scenes that sometimes dazzle the mind, make you wonder, what is this now? I went across the Alps and then I saw the glaciers, miles and miles of nothing but ice, 8 miles deep. God just got layers of ice. Folks have made cities in the ice. God got anything he wants. And whatever he has, he got enough to never run out. He's a never run out God. Hallelujah. Oh, what about God? God will never run out. Amen. Then let's praise him for his excellent grace. Special grace, God. As far as we personally concerned, of course he made the mountains and said when he put the stars in space and put the moon in place, it took a miracle. But when he saved my soul, hallelujah, that made me whole, it took a miracle. Love and grace. Nobody could do it but God. God did it. God did it. I never said it again. No Holy Spirit. And we was good by his power. when Scripture said, can a mother forsake her child? And he answered, said, yes, she may, but God would not forsake his own. Mothers have forsaken their children, left them on doorsteps, left them at the Penn station, dropped them in the sewer. I was at Waukee, Illinois once, and the city sewer had stopped up, and when they found out what was the cause, it was a baby that had been abandoned. Can a mother forget her suckling? Yet God said, I'll never forget you. What a dramatic expression, because that's the last thing that will forget a child as a mother. She will go to the ultimate, and yet mothers forget their children. Thank God, God never forgets us. We're so happy for all the mothers, and certainly to crown us our service today on Mother's Day is first of all my own mother. She's waving her hand, and she's dressed up today. Amen. I want her to look good today. The dress I bought her, she's really dressed up. 91 years young. So we get the mic down there and let her say something to the people over the radio. And you see she can talk now.
Thank you, Lord. I'm so glad that I'm able to look on my own son today. Bishop Watkins. And he is a wonderful man. I'm not saying it because it's my son. I'm saying it because it's true. Thank God for him.
Thank you. Glory to God.
He live a long time. I've been here 91 years. And I don't know how many more I'm going to be here. But if he can live 91 years, I thank God. May the Lord ever bless everything that he put his hand in. Oh, I want God to use him.
Hallelujah.
Take pictures out there. I wish he would take my picture. Picture, and I could take one. Praise the Lord. Now I don't want to talk too long. But God bless you, son. You stay with God. And he'll continue to make a wonder out of you. Amen.
And if it had been false, I think it would have run out by now. I think she would have discovered now that there's something about it that's not true. If it can hold out 70 years, it must be all right. We're so happy to have one of our dearly beloved Charlie, all the friends of the family be with us on this blessed day. I'm going to invite your attention to a scripture, first one in Joshua, the 24th chapter. And the 14th verse I shall begin reading. Thou therefore fear the Lord, and serve him in sincerity and in truth. Put away the gods which your fathers served on the other side of the flood, and in Egypt, and serve ye the Lord. And if it seem evil unto you to serve the Lord, choose you this day whom you will serve, whether the gods which your fathers served that were on the other side of the flood, or the gods of the Amorites, in whose land ye dwell. Repeat after me. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. In 1 Timothy, I think it's the 4th chapter, or the 1st chapter, the 5th chapter, and the 4th verse. I'm going to read a few verses there. But if any widow have children or nephews, let them learn first to show piety at home and to requite their parents, for that is good and acceptable before God. And she that is a widow indeed and desolate trusteth in God and continueth in supplications and prayers night and day. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she lives. Before I go into our discussion of it, I'm going to talk about the influence of the Christian home. There's no agency in the world that has the responsibility or carries with it the weight of responsibility or the influence that the home carries. God made Adam out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his body the breath of life. And thus Adam became and stood innocent and unspotted and became a living soul. With all of his glory and power and pleasure, Adam was lonely, solitary. And God saw that amid all of his created works which he had produced, that it was not good for man to be alone. Woman was therefore created, made from Adam's rib. She was brought to man, and there in the sinless garden, they were united in holy wedlock. Upon this pure and primal pair, God bestowed his divine blessings. They were commanded to found a worthy race, subdue the earth into utility, and rule the world for God. Thus God established the home as a unit of society. Centuries before there was a state, before there ever was a school, or there was a church, there were homes instituted by God as places where men and women should live together in love and in happiness, where children should be born and reared. This fellowship of married love and the home which it builds is God's supreme gift to man and the safeguard of civilization. The matter of supreme importance to the nation is not the schools, not the state, not the national government, but homes which produce and establish and balance civilization. The home may be in a tent, it may be a rented house, it could be an apartment, it could be a mansion or a cabin. The family from it shelters persons from the wolves of society, but there's no place like home. It's a harbor in which souls are anchored, and they are secured from the storms of doubt and the carnal stress that are without. It's a fortress from the vicissitudes of life. It's a citadel where the armed forces of love, truth, and chastity go forth to bless the world. It's a sanctuary in which faith builds an altar, spins the door, and binds the door with prayer, yields the life and life's destiny to God. Moreover, a Christian home is an anteroom to heaven, where husband and wife submit themselves to another in the fear of God. It's where parents rear their children in God's nature and admonition. It's where children obey their parents, and where God's word has a claim, and where the Sabbath rolls in tender blessings over the threshold. It's a field where love grows the orchards of most delicious fruit. And most of what heaven is, our homes may be. if we build them on God's plan. Amen. A church is a church within a church, our home. Because charity begins where? At home. It's a world within a world. It's a kingdom within a kingdom. It's a republic within a republic. And it can be spelled in just 4 words, 4 letters rather, H-O-M-E. If things go right there, they're right everywhere. The door seal of homes are the foundations of church and state. For no man ever gets higher than his own garret, nor lower than his own basement. The highest house of Congress is the domestic circle, and the rocking chair in a Christian nursery is higher than a throne. It is not too much to say that though George Washington commanded the forces of the United States, Mary Washington commanded George. Chrysostom, mother sharpened his pen for his great spiritual poems that he wrote and sent around the world. And if the modern mother throws the cares of her household into a servant's lap and spends the afternoon and nights at clubs, at operas and theaters, she may clothe her children with satin and laces. She may try to make them what they want. She wants them to be, but they'll wind up on Skid Row. Home implies a man who works, a woman who cares, and a child who is taught. Only the man who works is a good citizen, for he assumes his responsibility, and his veins are the veins of blessings to any land. Only the woman who is good is fit for mothering, and the world hates and needs mothers more than they need statesmen. We need better mothers to populate a society and keep us in check. For the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. The world needs mothers more than statesmen, poets, and scientists or professors. For only the child who is taught is reared to be a blessing. We got a lot of the women now in this new day of the feminists and with women live who wants to break loose from the home life. And they're teaching that you're becoming nothing but a slave to be a wife. And they're watering down marriage and making it look cheap. But I want you to know, if you want to reform society, don't mount the soapbox and become an orator. Go home. Don't turn columnist. Go home. For no movement will move unless it moves at home. No reform unless it organizes and originates at home. No law will stand unless it begins in home. No need of trying to make a law in this community if we can't make law in our home. No religion prospers unless it is visible at home. We got too much religion in the church and none at home. That's the reason I beg to differ with a lot of people that's raising the fog over taking prayer out of school. Prayer does not begin in the school. Prayer begins in the home. It didn't take it out of the home, so go home and pray. That's why you're taught to pray. At mother's knees. You don't learn how to pray at school. You learn how to pray at home. Mama ought to teach you how to pray. Mama ought to be praying. The family ought to be praying. And if all of us get to praying at home, when we go to school, we'll have a prayer. That's the big alibi. We make a big rulers open. But we're not praying at home. Most of us are too busy at home. We're too occupied with trivial affairs to take time and pray. But you are the boss at your house. Nobody can stop you from praying at home. Go home and pray. You're not praying out here no how. Most folks not praying in church. They're not doing nothing but hollering. You listen now. You can't pray a real prayer at church. You can't tell the truth at church in your prayer. Most of it is hollering. Oh, Jesus. Oh. That sounds good, but you haven't said that. But Jesus said, when you pray, don't pray like the hypocrites. Don't pray like the Pharisees who pray on corners of the streets, who pray in the marketplace, but go home and pray. When you get there, go in the closet and shut the door. And the God that sees in secret and hears in secret will reward you openly. Prayers is a conversation anyhow between you and God. You're not talking to other folks. You're not communicating with the community. You're not talking to the church. It's a conversation between you and God. Sweet hour prayer that calls me from a world of care and bids me at my Father's throne make all my wants and wishes known. Amen. And you can steal away and pray. Close the door, shut the door. I was down in Times Square and I saw a lady on the telephone trying to talk to a friend on the other end of the line. And the people were passing and the crowds were milling and their feet were stomping on the concrete. And the taxi was passing and the sound was coming in. And she said, I can't hear you. And the lady on the other end said, why don't you shut the door? Too many of us are trying to talk to God with too many voices coming in. But if you shut the door, close your neighbors out, close your husband out, close everybody out, and have a little talk with you. Amen. Give me a single domestic grace in the home. I'll turn it into 100 public bridges. The home is like a reservoir pouring water into every avenue in moral life, in social life, in political life, and in all life. But if there is not enough moral principles to make the family adhere, there shall not be enough political principles to make the state adhere. The same storm that upsets the ship in which the family sails will sink the ship of state, will break the Constitution. And that's why we're having such violence and corruptions in the community, is because our family life has broke down. There's anarchy in the home. There's revolution in the home. There's no disposition and discipline in the home. And it breaks loose in the community. And you can't do nothing with them in the school and nowhere because they're not restricted and they're not restrained and disciplined at home. Charity begins at home. Got a lot of folk now who want to be great missionaries and teachers. Go home. Start at home first. Train your children. Get yourself straight. Bring yourself up. Get your life straight. Get your conduct in order. Get your disposition right. Get your attitude right. Too many people out preaching the gospel with a mean attitude, trying to tell other people how to live, and their whole life is a disgrace. Our home is a neglected agency of God today. This is to say that there is a damaging, if not damning, decline in home piety and home spirituality. Most of us have been so busy until we don't have time to have a home life. Most of our home life is gone. Some of us don't even eat together. We're too busy. We're so carried up and caught up in the economic whirlpool until we don't have time to socialize and fraternize with one another. Some children don't even know their parents. Some parents don't know their children. We're in a world and one day they're coming and going. They're coming and we're going. We're going and they're coming. And there's no contact and no communication. And life is just a muddle. And it's really different. It's almost a frustration. Some of our homes are nothing but a lunch counter, where they come in and get a hamburger sandwich and go back out to play or go out to do something else. We're going to have to change our homes and bring it back into God's purpose, back into God's will. Amen. There's a decline of family religion that produces disaster among us. With the decay of our home life will come the decay of civilization. The home is where the alphabet of gospel is first learned. And when our houses become the generators of spiritual influence, we shall witness an infusion of new spiritual life. Amen. We'll learn how to read the Bible at home. We'll learn how to pray at home. We learn the alphabets of religion at home. Don't come out here to learn and turn your child over to the teacher at school. I want you to make something out of my boy. He starts at home. Their evidence is that the influence of the home is less strong on the constructive side than in earlier days. The home has experienced difficulty in keeping pace with the negative diversities of this day. The negative situation has become so pronounced until everything in our children's mind is negative. They don't believe in God. They don't believe in nothing. They've got a negative mind. They're not even able to grasp the sensibility of the truth. They're not even able to understand the mystery of what God is all about. They're senseless to them. And so the consequences which has come upon us has been so drastic until we ourselves are reaping the drastic results of a broken down home life. Our children have drifted out into drugs and into chaos and whatnot. That we hardly can imagine ourselves how we're going to survive in this generation. And the devil is devising new things, so every day he has nothing stale and static. From one thing to another. He starts off with pot, and he goes from pot to something else. And now he's up to crack. And he's got a crack society. When he gets through with crack, he's got something else cooking. Oh, we were as utilitarian and skillful in our advancement as the devil was with all of his devices. He said, we need not be ignorant of his devices. Some of us sitting here, we don't see what the devil is cooking up. We fall right into his trap. Through our negligence, through our indifference, and through our callousness, and through our apathy, we've lost our children through our own negligence. We fail to pray ourselves and our children have caught that disease of indifference. We're reaping the harvest of that negligence. How shall we escape if we neglect? We cannot escape. We have education today, but education has not eliminated the crime, even though our great education leaders of the last century promised us that if we would become educated, we would abolish crime. Now our criminals are the educated ones. They're the ones that's perpetrating these crimes that have baffled the mind. And they're in Sing Sing. You don't find dumb folks in Sing Sing. You don't find dumb folks on Skid Row. Go down to Skid Row, and all of them got diplomas, all kinds of certificates and degrees. But they've been trapped by the powers of the devil because they lost their moorings in the home life. When you can be taught at home, thou shalt not, thou shalt not. It becomes, sometimes it gets on your nerves. It's not on my nerves. But down at the ocean, they've got some lifeguards there. They're not there to stop you from swimming, but they're to keep you from drowning. They're there to keep you from going too far. And if we don't put some guidelines in our home to restrict and to restrain our home, our children will be lost right under our nose. The world we live in contains all the elements of Joshua's world. The same God beckon and the same forces prevail. The same enchantment, the profiteering systems that would engulf our children. And what the devil comes, he comes with terms. He has terms for us to sign. And his terms are, let us alone. That's the devil's peace term. Let us alone. Why protest? Don't see no sense in protesting. Let every man be persuaded by his own mind. But that's a stupid sense to come in that conclusion. Because if we let sin alone, sin will not let us alone. We must cry loud and spare not. We must be bold in our vehemence and protest against the power of sin. We must let the world know that sin is sin. For every bottle that has poison, they are told by the government to put that sign on there that poison is on the inside. They within it caffeine, or that something in there that will eventually kill you. It's letting you know it's poison in there. And we've got to let the people know that the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life. We must have Christian experience and influence. And unless we have that, we're going to be lost in this generation. Too many so-called homes are built lunch counters with lodging quarters. So our children to come in and lay down and sleep and get up and eat and go out into the world. Out of 120 ministers who were addressed in a western state, some hundreds say that the Christian influence in the home had much to do with their conversion and their service in the ministry. I have to confess it was my mother's teaching and my father's indoctrination that put me in the church and kept me in the church. It was their administration of documentation of the disciplines of the church. They were so dogmatic. They were so orthodox. They were so determined for me to live the truth. Hardly one day out of 365, Mama would say, son, I want you to live right. She's still saying that. I want you to live holy. I want you to be true. I want you to be a real man. I want you to live and be respectable. We need that type of encouragement. We've got to be encouraged to live holy. the book of Samuel. They drifted from God. And God said, I got to bring them back home. The land was filled with drought. Had no water to drink. God has to put us some time back on a position where we got to trust in Him. And we couldn't get no water nowhere. Clouds had vanished. The dew wouldn't fall. It wouldn't rain no more. And they said, what shall we do? God said, I tell you what to do. Make this valley full of ditches. Get you some shovels and get you some spades. And everywhere they would start digging, God would fill it with water. So y'all want God to bless you. The more digging, dig a little deeper. Go down in prayer. Go down in concentration. Dig a little deeper. Oh, Lord. Dig a little shallow dip. But before God to rain upon the rain. Dig a little deeper. God will fill it up. Rain. It's time for God to work. But when the time of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord, the saints have got to repent of all of this stuff. Get yourself ready for the blessing. God, get ready. All the blessings. God, get ready to come through here. The Holy Ghost is ready to bring up the fallow ground. Bring up the soil. Make the ground ready. So when the rain falls, God will water your soil. Don't you want to get wet today? Water my soul. Wash me, Lord. Wash me, Jesus. Wash me, Lord. The shower come. The rain fall. The elders, he don't want to tell anybody. He's trying to keep it hidden. But God's trying to get his attention. Oh, God wants to save our families. God wants to save our children. Hallelujah. I told God, use me, Lord. I made myself. I surrendered everything. I want God to work. I'm 73 years old. I got nothing to live for but God. Nothing the devil got off of that entices me. Hallelujah! I surrender all. As for me and my house, give them their wife and loves to pray. I hear her in the morning at 8 o'clock every morning. She's up in the prayer room. Praying, Lord, crying out, hallelujah, praying. That's a blessing. Let's all get to praying. Let's draw nigh to God. All the men of the old dispensation lived in God's presence. They were near to God. They were close to God. They could talk with God. They could walk with God. They lived in His presence. Let's get out of this carnal appetite. Let's get away from the flesh. Let's get back into the fellowship. Let's walk with God. Hallelujah! He said, draw nigh unto God, and He'll draw nigh to you. He's closer to me now than ever before. We got the Holy Ghost in us now. Lord, let me see. Brother Wells, what happened to us? That we lost that initiative and that motivation that we had when we were seeking the Holy Ghost. Oh, we made every sacrifice because they told us we had to have the Holy Ghost. You got to have it. You need it. You got to be filled. You got to be baptized with the Holy Ghost. And whatever it took to get it, we tried. We fasted. We prayed. We quit gossiping. We quit telling jokes. We quit lying. We quit doing anything until God overshadowed us with the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. Now, we've gone back into neutral. We've forgot what the Holy Ghost is all about. That Holy Ghost is in there for some specific purpose. We do not know how to pray. Brother Shaw told us yesterday that there's no because we don't know how to pray as we ought. But the Spirit itself maketh intercession with groanings that cannot be uttered, praying in the Holy Ghost. When he said, be not drunk with wine, wherein is excess, but be what? Be filled. Let me tell you, if you are full of the Spirit, somebody doesn't know it. Is that particular one in the early church said, pick out 7 men full of the Holy Ghost. How you going to pick it out if you don't know? There must be some sign. There must be some distinction between those that are filled and those that are not. You can sit here and be baptized and become empty, lose the operation of the Spirit, and you do not know how to pray as you ought. You said building up yourself. That's what we want to do. Go back to building ourselves in meditations, in consecration, in reading the Bible, in coming together in fellowship, in getting on our knees, in fasting and praying. And when we get into that office, building up yourself in your most holy faith, then you start praying in the Holy Ghost. Then the devil can't click on you like he clicks on Sister Washington's phone. Click. I got a phone that don't click on me. The devil will click on you. You may be talking to Jesus, but he said click and cut off you from that communication with God. But Paul said, if I pray in an unknown tongue, my spirit prays. Look at that. We're not going to stop in Washington Temple until we get back to that language of the Spirit. There are things with us that we don't know nothing about. He helps our infirmities, heals our weaknesses, communicates to God in our behalf. How many want that? Get some that hands and I'm not going to stop until I get it.
Yes, this is a CNH video production. And this is General Charles Holloman. I want to dedicate this sermon to my mother, Ruther B. Holloman, 307 South Slocum Street. Ruther B. Holloman. Happy Mother Day, Mother. And I'll see you next week this same time. And may God bless you. Thank you.